What's up, Hockey Think Tankers? Welcome to another Short Shifts episode, sponsored by Skate Tech Skate Sharpening and Equipment Repair. They bring you NHL quality service at an affordable retail price. With over 24 years of sharpening equipment, customizing experience, Skate Tech serves as your personal equipment manager, providing the highest quality skate sharpening, blade profiling, team uniforms, and equipment alterations available on the market today. Let Skate Tech help you take your on-ice performance to the next level with the edge of pros trust. Check them out at skatetechsharpening.com.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday or whatever day. This is Short Shifts. 10 minutes are on the clock. Jeffrey Jehu Lavecchio has no idea what the topic is going to be, but should he choose to accept this challenge, be my co-pilot on this magic carpet ride. We're going to have some fun today. So, Vex, you ready to rock and roll?
Let's hit it, baby.
Okay, so we have talked about on Short Shifts before, because I get this question a lot. How do you succeed as a smaller player? Like, if you're a smaller player, how do you get to the highest levels of hockey? Talked a lot about that. I want to shift this to you, Mr. Jeffrey Lavecchio, because I don't think we've spoken about this before. So I'm a smaller, stocky guy. Growing up, you were a bigger, lanky guy growing up. And a lot of times bigger, lanky guys are asking us the questions like, I haven't hit puberty yet, or I haven't grown into my body, things like that. And I'm not making teams because of it. I'm not getting drafted because of it, all that kind of stuff. Similar, right? Where it's like the short, stocky guy, scouts don't love them. The tall, lanky guy, they don't have the skills yet. They might not be coordinated, whatever, haven't hit puberty. So I wanted to talk to those kids today. You being one when you were younger, you also, I'm sure, training a lot of them in the gym that have dreams of playing at the highest levels of this game, that are the tall, lanky type. So if you had advice for a tall, lanky kid that hasn't put it all together yet, that's hitting some adversity right now, aren't making teams because of it, all that kind of stuff, what would your advice be, and how would you advise these kids to kind of go through the next couple of years of their journey?
I would like you guys to talk to older players, coaches, whoever who played at the levels that you want to get to, and ask them about their experience at your age and what it looked like for them, and to hear from them, because they'll be able to give you the perspective that the best players, because, they went through puberty or they were jacked naturally or whatever, it all evens out. It all evens out. Like Toph and I have talked about smaller players, and when they're younger, how because they're smaller and they go through puberty later, if they're playing at a higher level, it's because of their brain and their hockey sense. You are forced to become better in ways that aren't physical when your physical maturation isn't matched up with everybody around you. And I would look at that as a good thing. You just have to learn to persevere through these times right now when puberty hasn't caught up. To be honest with you, I got my first chest hair like a week ago. All right. I'm 40, almost 41. I'm still waiting to hit puberty. I'm waiting for my voice to drop. Okay. All right. So, it's very easy to look at something like my current size, my current weight, whatever it is, and use that as a crutch. No. That's what you can't do. It's up to you to find a way. It's up to you to think outside the box. It's up to you to grow the other skills that will keep you at that level and progressing to the next level until your physical maturation catches up with other players. Okay. A big part of that is going to be the work that you put in the gym, at the dinner table, and in your bed. What do I mean by that? The gym is going to get you bigger, faster, stronger, whether that's you're a short guy, you're a tall, skinny guy, you're listening to a podcast with two of those. Okay. We both had to put in work in the gym, and a lot of it to stay relevant in the game. Toph, because he's short, me, because I was skin and bones and weak. Okay. And the gym helped both of us overcome whatever physical, I wouldn't even call them limitations, but physical things that we had to. And that allowed both of us to play at the levels that we did. The dinner table. If you're a guy who's smaller, you have to get stronger. You have to. I'm not saying you need to be a bodybuilder, but teams at the higher levels will always use your size against you. Don't let them. Nathan Gerby never did. Topher Scott never did. Tons of players that we played with that were smaller in stature guys, they never did. You can never blame it on that. Use that to fuel you to eat better, to make sure you're getting in your protein, your carbs, your squares, and force the adaptation from the gym in the kitchen on your dinner plate. And then the last one is you got to sleep. You have to sleep. If you are physically not at the same level as everyone else is currently, doesn't mean you never will be, but sleep and recovery will be your best friend, because the better you sleep, the better you recover. The more you get from your workouts, the more you get from your practices, the more you build your body up better, quicker, more efficiently, more effectively. And I know that those things are not sexy to talk about, the gym, the dinner table, and bed, but guess what? They will help you way more than anything else will. So make sure that you're focusing on those three things.
Yeah, you can almost like speed up your development and your unlinkiness by doing the three things that you just talked about, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. It's interesting too. I think about like, so a guy that you and I know is one of my best buddies growing up, Danny Richmond. So Danny Richmond played in the NHL, played at the University of Michigan, was a second round draft pick in the NHL. And Danny hit like a really crazy growth spurt, like freshman year of college-ish, like what was that, 14, 15 years old or whatever. And he actually left playing AAA and played high school hockey in Illinois that year. So he played for Stevens in high school, which is like, anybody's like, if you want to play elite levels, you can't play high school hockey in Illinois, right? And he did, because he like his like arms were like down to his legs. He had this like massive growth spurt, and he was so uncoordinated and all that kind of stuff. And so he made the decision, him and his family, to play high school hockey for a year and then go back into AAA. And then like 3 years later, he's playing at the University of Michigan, and playing on the World Junior team for Team USA. And so I'm wondering, like, for the kids who have that like really crazy growth spurt, it's just like, I'm not saying you have to go back a level. Like if you're playing AAA, go play AA or go play high school or anything like that. But just understand that it's going to be really hard. You're not going to be as good as you want to be, because the things firing from your head to the limbs of your body and your coordination and all that is just going to be messed up. It's really going to be messed up. So again, understand that it's like part of the process. Understand that you can accelerate that process by treating your body right, all the things that Vex just said, and just really, really focus on being resilient through that time, because you're not going to be, I don't want to say you're not going to be good, but you're not going to be at your best. You're not going to reach your potential, because just your body is what it is at the time. Does that make sense?
100%. 100%. I can't tell you how many players that I've trained on both ends of that spectrum. Kids that were, around 11 to 14 that grew like 6 or 7 inches in the matter of a few months, and their feet grew, and they are just bumbly and stumbly and they look like Bambi, and they're very uncoordinated. So we focus a lot on trying to work on the brain-body connection, the mind-body connection, a lot of very simple drills with their feet and moving around. And just know, mom, dad, coaches, like, it's going to be awkward for a little bit. They've got to learn to use these now massive limbs that they didn't have before. And on the other end of the spectrum, the smaller guys are going to be super, super quick, but usually they're not as strong right out of the gate. So they're going to have to work on something slightly differently. But the biggest thing with all of these players at the younger ages, whether it's short, tall, goofy, thick, athleticism. Athleticism for the younger ages is the most important thing to work on, because it's so much easier to layer speed, strength, power on top of athleticism than to do it the opposite way around. I've been doing this for 19 years plus my own career, and I've seen it with thousands and thousands of players. Okay, athleticism above all else, no matter where they are on the spectrum, get better at that, and then we get into the more intricate stuff.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And the last thing too, I just kind of want to double down on one of the things that you talked about, because I know a lot of kids and families struggle with this, and that's getting in the amount of calories that you need to sustain your body. That is a lot different 6 months after a growth spurt and stuff like that. Like, how many kids do you know, Vex, that undereat? Every single one, pretty much?
99.99999999999 repeating.
So repeating.
Yes.
And that's where, like, just being very, very intentional about packing snacks and protein shakes and, in between classes at school, like you have to fuel your body. You have to, or else muscles aren't going to get bigger, not going to be as coordinated. It's huge.
It's, this year, guys, listening here, was the first year I was able to get every player that trained with me in person at all of our locations, their own nutrition coach. So every player that trained me in person, and it was an option online too. I can't believe, we had over 500 players sign up and do my online training this summer from all over the world. And I made it an option to work with our nutrition coach. And I can't believe that barely anybody did it, because again, muscles break down in the gym. They build back up with proper recovery. That is nutrition, sleep, and hydration. Okay. It is so freaking important. And the guys who talk to the nutrition coach daily, weekly, he's 24/7 with them. You can message him 24/7. He is there for you. He's only working with my clients, right? The guys who dialed in and did it, it is hilarious how much more muscle they gain than the guys who I know aren't doing it at 100%, right? Like it is wild, right? Nutrition was one of the biggest things that changed my career after the gym, and it's 1A, 1B. So if you want to get bigger, faster, stronger, recover better, brain firing better, you have to focus on your damn nutrition.
All right. There you go. Mic drop. Time's up.
Boom. Share the show.